Hey, what's up, ghouls and gals? Welcome back. Today I'm finally getting to my ranking of Volume 4 of Love, Death, and Robots. Now, Love, Death, and Robots is my Super Bowl. I look forward to that so much. It came out of nowhere for me, and it made such an impact in my life. And every time we get a new volume, I am seated, I am invested, and I am so excited. So today I am giving you my personal ranking of all of the episodes. I will not be talking about them in chronological order. So if you enjoyed this video, please go ahead and give it a thumbs up, subscribe for more, check out all of my links down below if you would like to see any more of me or support the channel any further. I will leave my playlist link down below of my ranking of the other volumes of Love, Death, and Robots if you are interested in my thoughts. I will quickly say there is nothing in this volume that I rated lower than a 3 out of 5, which is wonderful. So on that note, let's start with my number 10, a 3 out of 5. This is episode 9, Smart Appliances, Stupid Humans. Appliances and objects come to life to share their funny and sarcastic opinions about the humans who use them on a daily basis, revealing stories from their peculiar point of view. And I will say there are a few notable actors doing the voices, comedians doing the voices for this short, such as Kevin Hart, Niecy Nash, a personal favorite of mine, Amy Sedaris, and even Ronnie Chang. I recognized, if you guys watch The Daily Show, you know Ronnie Chang, and I feel like I picked up on his voice immediately. But moving on to number 9, episode 2. Close Encounters of the Mini Kind. Another one that I rated 3 out of 5. A miniaturized alien invasion unfolds, turning a catastrophic destruction into an oddly adorable spectacle of chaos. Now, this is technically a spiritual sequel to Night of the Mini Dead from Volume 3, Episode 4, and I feel like you could tell right away. I was like, this is a sequel. But these ones give me the Dead Ops arcade vibes. If you guys remember from Call of Duty Black Ops, the little overhead arcade version of zombies, that's what these little shorts remind me of. But at number 8, it's coincidentally episode 8, How Zeke Got Religion, and this one I rated a 3.5 out of 5. On a perilous mission into hostile territory, the crew of a World War II bomber encounters an unholy enemy. Now, this has to do with confrontation with a fallen angel. I am not a religious person, so I don't feel like I connected with it on that level. However, the storytelling and the animation for this one, incredible. This short was based on a short story by the author John Nichol, and the title of this short story has never been disclosed, but John Nichol was credited in the source material for this short. But let's move on to number 7 and episode 5, The Other Large Thing. Another one I gave 3.5 out of 5. This furry revolutionary has plans for world domination, but all he needs is a henchman with opposable thumbs. And as a cat owner, I have 5 cats. I really enjoyed this short. I loved the fur animation. Like, Disney Pixar, take notes, because this was some of the best fur I've ever seen in any kind of animation. But this is also based on a short story by John Scalzi, who more or less investigates the world of cats and robots coexisting together, which is definitely demonstrated in this short. But speaking of cats, at number 6, we have episode 10, For He Can Creep. And this one I started with the 4 stars right here. In London, 1757, Satan battles a cat for the soul of a poet whose verse could give him dominion over the earth. And the voice of Satan in this short is Dan Stevens, and I think it was perfectly cast. I have been a Dan Stevens hater for a long time, but his voice acting in this was really good. I'm willing to give him another chance. But someone I am not willing to give another chance to. Jimmy Donaldson, Mr. Beast. He is the star from episode 7, The Screaming of the Tyrannosaurus. Now this one I also gave a 4.5 out of 5. In an orbital arena, gladiators and dinosaurs compete in a deadly race and face a terrifying new opponent. And I might say that terrifying new opponent is Mr. Beast. I immediately, like, we were watching that and I was like, I know that face. I hate that face. I'm just a Mr. Beast hater. If Mr. Beast has no haters, I am dead. I'm sorry. He was actually cast in this role as a mean, scary, sadistic overlord, game master. I don't know. I feel like this is a perfectly cast role for him, and I would prefer to not see him in anything else. But I digress. The dinosaurs are what got me for this one. I love a dinosaur. If there is one thing I am afraid of, I will say it is animatronic dinosaurs. The big ones that you can like walk through when they have exhibits and stuff. I don't know what it is. Sometimes they look so real to me. I'm like, those are alive and I don't like that. But moving on to my number 4, it is episode 6, Golgotha. Another one that I gave 4 out of 5. This one is getting a lot of hate online and I'm just not sure why. A vicar welcomes an alien visitor who's convinced their divine savior has returned to Earth in the form of a dolphin. This is actually the second live action short in Love, Death, and Robots. Sometimes I feel like the animation is too good and sometimes the animated CGI characters look a little too lifelike and human, and I kind of had to take a double take when we started watching this episode because the human guy looked too human, and there was a reason for that because he is. I personally thought from the trailer, I inferred that this perhaps would be some sort of Cthulhu experience, but it was not, and I'm kind of happy that it wasn't because this was an original idea that I thought was really well executed. But let's move into my final 3. Number 3 is episode 1, Can't Stop, directed by David Fincher. And when we started this episode, when I saw the title Can't Stop, I was like, oh my god, this is the Red Hot Chili Peppers one. Oh my god, they're gonna play Can't Stop. It's gonna be the full song. It's one of my favorite songs of all time. So as soon as you saw the marionettes on stage and it opened and the opening notes started of the song and it was just so well done right off the bat, I started crying. I felt so much emotion. This is string puppets of the Red Hot Chili Peppers performing at Ireland's Slane Castle, reimagining their iconic 2003 concert through marionette artistry, but the whole thing is CGI. And to see all of the marionette puppets, all of the strings, the audience, the band, the inner workings of everything, it was so fascinating to watch, set to one of my favorite songs of all time, and it really did set the tone for the season for me. And I really had to fight with myself. I was like, Ashley, you cannot put a David Fincher directed Red Hot Chili Peppers music video at number 1 for this season. It cannot happen. So that brings me to number 2 and number 1. The 2 I really had to fight with the position that I wanted them to be in, because they both were so exciting and impressive and well done to me. So let's talk about number 2, Spider Rose. This is episode 3, a 4.5 out of 5 for me. At the edge of the galaxy, a grieving woman dreams of revenge. Can an adorable newcomer help her destroy her enemies without destroying her humanity? Now, this is also based on a short story, but if you've watched this episode, I'm just gonna let you know, no spoilers here. The ending, who eats who in the ending, is flipped in the book, in the short story, which I think is a very fascinating change to do it the way they did in the short. And I loved it. The little guy that we got to watch, His name is Nosy, and it's giving an axolotl version of Stitch, and I was here for it. The animations, the CGI for this one, so top-notch, amazing, so well done. But at number 1, let's talk about 400 Boys. Now, when this started, I was like, 400 Boys? We're about to do 15 minutes of 400 Boys? I'm not doing that. But where it takes you, where this whole episode goes, and this is the episode with the giant babies, like, it really stuck out to me. Another one I gave 4.5 out of 5. In a devastated urban landscape, rival gangs live by samurai rules. When a ruthless new faction emerges, former enemies must join together to survive. This is so well done. There's one specific thing that stuck out to me. The giant babies. When I'm saying baby invasion, this is baby invasion. Harmony Korine, move out of the way. But there's one specific thing that the babies do, the 400 Boys, that they do in this episode, and they throw giant chains. The animation of the giant chains alone, as someone who enjoys and appreciates art of all kinds, there must have been so many hours going into rendering out every single frame and creating that whole universe. It looks so cool, almost like I don't want to say like an anime, but like almost an anime adjacent style. Oh, I just loved the color saturation. Everything about 400 Boys was for me, and I didn't think it would be my number 1, and it is my number 1. So with that, I give this whole season a 3.8 out of 5. That is my average ranking. I think that is a very fair score for this whole season. It was really good. I think it does hold a candle to the other previous 3 volumes, but I don't think it was as strong as the first 3. So let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. In my heart, the Can't Stop episode is number 1. I just want you to know that. But I will see you very soon for a new video in 2 days, as always. Sayonara, Spooky fam.